Good morning, traders. New York session starts in a few minutes and I will show you what the market looks like for today and how to trade it. Let's go to the charts. The same as always, we're going to analyze the USDT.D dominance of Tether because the market is usually goes opposite direction of the Tether. So if we have a bullish day in USDT.D, we're expecting a bearish in cryptocurrency. So we will short the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and everything. We will work on this because you can also work, if you have any altcoins, you can also work on it. But remember, not the shed coins, okay? The ones, the smaller caps, the ones something like the bank USDT or the ones that are smaller, they don't really follow this. So you have to work on the first high caps. The ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Dogecoins, those are the ones that you can also trade based on the USDT. From the previous video, if you remember, we targeted this low here. We had this low and we drew this line. So these are all from the previous video. And we were at about here. And if you remember, if you can see here right now, the price respected this. We hit this and we bounced back up. So in the previous video, we had two scenarios. Once we, if we hit here and if we have a shadow, the shadow was the important piece. So we didn't just talk about two scenarios, right? This was really obvious. What we talked about was how this scenario is gonna form, okay? That was the important piece. When we hit a, so remember this is very important, okay? When we hit a support level and we bounce back with a shadow, then there's a good chance that that support is actually going to push the price higher. But if we hit it with just a few, some candles, so with the full-bodied candles, so let's say this red candle here, it was closed at nearby the support level, at this support, then we would expect more bearish momentum from here, okay? So that's the difference. This is something you have to learn. The reason that a support level or a resistance level, any trend line breaks, is because it's fragile. It doesn't have enough orders in it. And what that means is that when we get closer with the candles, when we get closer and we don't push back, that support cannot push the price or cannot reject the price from that level, it means that there's a good chance that it can break it. I took my time to talk about this a little bit more because this is really important piece. I will move on to the next levels. All right, so right now what we see in the daily time frame is that we have pushed the price but we couldn't really go far from here. Also, the third candle here, we haven't made any FVG from the previous one, okay? Let me show you an example. In the previous chart, in the previous bounce from the same support level, we had this candle, the same as what we have here. We hit the price, we hit the support level. We had this candle here, this green candle, and then we had this candle and the third one, okay? Now we have an FVG here. Let me draw this FVG for you. And this is a very important FVG, that's why I'm drawing it all the way here, okay? I'm gonna paint it red so you have a good idea. So once we hit this FVG, then the price kept pushing up and up, okay? The reason is that the bullish momentum was so strong that it couldn't even fill the orders here. And then the next time that it hit the same FVG at here, the same price here, let me draw it. Where's my? Okay. Let me see if I can find. Oh shoot. Okay, let me see if I can find my drawing tools. All right, once we hit here, once we the price moved further from here, it couldn't really fill this FVG at the first time, okay? But after that, we filled it from here. It turned into a nice support and it pushed the price even higher, okay? Now, that's the thing that it's not the case for today. Right now, as you can see, what we have here is not as strong as the previous one. So once we hit here, we haven't made any FVG. As you can see, this is the first. This is the high here we have, and then this is the low, okay? We haven't made any gap between the previous high and the current low. All right, so that's one of the issues. Right now we haven't made any gaps between them. So it shows that the current bearish momentum of a crypto market, or the bullish momentum of this dominance, this USDT, might be a little bit weaker than the previous one. How weak can it be? We can target any of the previous liquidities. Okay, we do have a liquidity at about here. Let me draw this. We have a liquidity here. I will paint it white. We also have a huge liquidity at here, which I don't expect the price goes above this, but this is, again, in daily time frame. We may need a few more candles, so we can just leave it here. The entire thing is that, you know, the price this time, this bearish momentum is not going to be as strong as the previous one. So this would also set our expectations if we want to see where is the bottom of the Bitcoin, where is the last price that we can see on the Bitcoin, the lowest price for this cycle. These are the good examples that you can find from. Okay, and another important piece, right now I'm not quite sure if we're going to go down or high. So what should I do? I'm going to look at the history of chart. Okay, right now this FVG that I drew here, remember that it pushed the price higher, and right now here it turned it. Once the price hit this, it acted as a support and it pushed all the way up. Right now this same support level turned into a resistance. So this resistance, it's not just for nothing. We have to find the root of that and see what market usually does to that specific zone. Okay, so this is a very strong zone here. Right now this becomes a very strong resistance. And remember, if by the end of today, if we close above this, then there is a good chance that the next day we will touch this again and we will go up. Something like this. Even probably up to here, not all the way down to the bottom of the FVG. Okay. So right now we're waiting for the New York session to see in New York if the traders can close this candle above this FVG. Because if we close above this, then we're gonna wait for a pullback. So you will see some retracement in your Bitcoin or in the crypto market. You're gonna see some bullish retracements, bullish pullback, and then from there you can open your short, and from here it can go up all the way to the next level. So right now here we do have other liquidity. These are smaller ones. If you're doing scalps, then this can be also your targets. Definitely go for them. Just check the price tags I'm putting here, but still, I mean, they're very simple and straightforward concepts. You can find the liquidity here. These are the liquidity zones. We can move above them, and again, on the pullbacks, on the bounces, we can open. But what's important is that, what if we don't close above this level? If we don't, and on the next day, I'm going to wait for a shadow at about this high. So this liquidity zone is important. I believe that we're gonna hit this liquidity zone either way, if we close above or below. But if we close below this FVG, I will wait for a touch on this and I will open my long positions in crypto here. Again, not financial advice, this is just me. And if you want to do it, definitely do it in the demo accounts, not with your real money. So make sure to stay safe. I will wait for here, and from this price, I would expect something like this. Not so crazy, just up to the bottom of the previous low. Again, we will wait for tomorrow. I will give you the full update for tomorrow to see how it goes. But for today, right now, this is what we're trading. One last update on the daily. Do not expect this structure to finish early, okay? We've had a lot of other structures, similar structures. Look at this. How many candles, how many days have we been stuck here, okay? It was about 111 days, all right? 111 days. Almost like 3-4 months. That's not a joke, okay? It was about like 4 months. So the same here. We hit the bottom twice. So we have the same liquidity here in the previous chart. We hit this once, twice, went up. So right now, let's say we're here. We're like literally here. just at this price. And then we went all the way up, came back, the same support, went up, came down, and then hit the price higher, okay? We've had this multiple times, even in previous ones, we've had multiple times. Like you can see, you can find it here too. So we hit the market, we hit here the support level here the second time, and we thought it's over, that's it. But then it became part of a bigger structure. So not just these two, but now we have also the third one here, the bigger structure. So I don't really expect this to be over yet, the entire structure, and this is the perfect time for scalping, to be honest, because you don't need to worry about this big candles that will liquidate you or won't fill up your orders. Right now it's a bit more safer market, so the market can have some bounces, you can do some Fibonacci's, so you can do some your technical analysis, and we can move from there. Let me go to the lower time frame. On the lower time frame, if you remember from the previous videos, we've also talked about this. I gave you the exact price tags. You see, these are the price tags from before, okay? I haven't even touched them. I gave you the exact price tags that we're gonna hit here. So this was a full long position for us. Remember, this is a USDT.D. So if it's going down, it means that the bullish momentum in crypto is on. So we hit here. Now from here, we also bounce back. So this is what we talked about. If you remember, if we close below this white box, we could have gone lower, but since we closed above this, then we expected more of these green candles here. And right now, this is where we are. If I see it from the 4-hour perspective, I can see that there's also a nice trend line that all the prices from here, not just there, but also from here, this is the all-time high of the USDT.D. From here, nice touches. As you can see, we touched it here, here. And now the trend line can be a little bit fragile. And the reason is that right now we're making a very nice bullish momentum below this line. And this bullish momentum, as you know, we've already talked about this a lot, but just to have a better idea, we have highs, lows, and then we haven't broken this yet. If you remember, even from the 1 day that I told you in the daily time frame, I mentioned about this FVG. This FVG this is exactly where we stand now. Okay, so this FVG is important right now based on different analysis. The FVG itself from the daily time frame, but here right now in the 4-hour time frame, if we break this, it means that it's going to break the 4-hour time frame, which means that it's gonna go up all the way here, continuing here, touching this. Probably it can even break the trend line, but I don't think it. I think it's going to close below the trend line and then have a pullback and then move above this more stronger. Okay, so this is what we expect. And so from the 4-hour time frame perspective, we do have this trend line. Remember, have the price tags on. You don't need the price tag, just draw this trend line. Make sure you draw it the same as how I did it, because you know this is a trend line. This is not horizontal. It's when we touch this, we may touch it from here, this price. Let me add some price tags. It can be here, it can be here. So the prices may differ because this is a trend line. It's not a horizontal trend line. So this is very important for us to make sure that once we close above this, then you're gonna wait for a pullback. Pullback can be anywhere from the actual trend line up to the this white box here. I will put the prices here too, so you know the prices here. And we can move all the way forward to the top. Okay, so this is our USDT.D. I will move, we spent a lot of time on this because this is really important, it matters. And oh, another fun fact, just so you know, on the daily time frame, because as I said, the 3 candles, they matter. If you remember, we talked about the FVG here, and then the 3 candles really matter, okay? Let me clean this up open this place up a little bit. So what that means is that if you draw from the high of this, it usually makes a nice support for us. Okay, on the daily time frame, the high of the candle that we have here from a huge support, it usually have a nice support for us. It either gonna make a FVG or it's going to make a support for us. And if I go back to the hourly time frame, I can see that the same candle here, the same line, the same support, once the price touched it, it moved all the way up. So these are the things that you should learn also when you have to check it from the daily perspective and also hourly perspective. I will move to the, let me go to the Bitcoin. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin. See how Bitcoin looks like. Right now on the daily time frame of Bitcoin, we do have a lot of volatility towards the down. Okay, the bearish momentum is getting stronger and stronger, and the reason is that right now we have a double top here. Well, we know that from previous we already had a huge bearish momentum. We never, like, even from here we had a huge bearish momentum. We had the BOS here, we got some BOS here, the same here, but from here we couldn't really close further below. So again, these are the signs that shows us the bottom of the Bitcoin is going to be around these prices, like at about probably a little bit lower. It can be at about 50K to here, because the prices could not close, the sellers could not empty their bags below. They couldn't push the price lower than this, and they are still struggling. They're still struggling here. You see from here, the sellers, they could push the price down. So any pullback, we could have got another sell all the way down. But right now, the sellers, they're not doing the best job of theirs, okay? They don't have the power as they used to have. So right now, what we're waiting in the daily time frame, we had this one before, and we also had this. So I'm gonna remove this double top. You know that the double top is gonna push the price at least up to 30 to 50% of the entire leg. So right now, we are at the 23%, not the 30th. So anywhere around this zone is gonna be the first target. These are not rules, these are something that usually happens, not always. So just gonna be prepared for it. Okay, here, and I'm gonna also put the price tags on it. Remember, this is the Bybit chart, okay? If you're using other exchange platforms, make sure your prices are at the same. You don't need to copy the prices, just draw the leg, draw the Fibonacci from the bottom here all the way to the top, okay? From here we have the 30%. We can expect a push all the way to this 30% or to the 50%. And from here we have to see what structure is gonna make. If there's a pullback, if there's a push towards the top, then we know that this was the bottom and then we're gonna move higher. But if not, if we close below the 50%, if we close below the 62,300, then we know that the price is going to push further down, okay? I'm gonna delete this so we have a cleaner picture. Another thing is that right now we also created a very beautiful order block. I mean, order blocks, they usually go lower, but right now we're in the middle of this leg here. This is also a very beautiful and good zone for you to trade, okay? Definitely have these tags on them. Right now we touched so the price already touched it once. So if you remember, the same touch here is the same as the dominance, this USDT here, this one, the same touch here, okay? As you can see, with the price is also moving up. Just wait for a candle close. Do not act irrational. Wait for a candle close. And from here, we also touched the box, and it also shows that once we touched it, we had a huge liquidity that it pushed the price lower and lower. And right now, if we see a close below the daily, then so on the daily time frame, if we close below this, the previous day, then there's also a good chance to meet the rest of it, the 60% or the 50% of the leg that I drew before. All right, let's go to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, everything's been touched. Very beautiful. we had all these touches, the bullish momentum, the bearish momentum here. Let me remove this. So these are from the strategy trader chart. If you don't have it, again, definitely go get it. This is something you're going to use a lot. I also have the USDT.D here, but I'd rather to do it on my the other charts, so you know the differences. Okay, so you can see that we had this bullish 4-hour order block, and how beautiful we touched it here. Just imagine if you had the chart and you had this, you could have got this entire leg from here. Okay, the same for the bullish 4-hour. So the other one's gonna be this one. This 4-hour is also going to have some bounces. So what I would want to do is, I'm also targeting this 63,300, but again, this will go below the 50% that we talked about. So if we're looking for a long position, if we want to expect something like this, again, it's going to be like this because this bullish order block is going to keep us here for a while. Remember, we're not going to go all the way down without any pullbacks. Okay, it's going to be something like this. We're going to go below this, and then we're going to touch this, but I don't really expect a lot of huge pullback from this, probably all the way to the previous order block. So this is very important, okay? Have this on your chart, and then we're going to move down. The same on the hourly and 15 minutes. Okay, on the 15 minutes for your scalps, what you have to do is to wait for each of these to break. Okay, each of the lows. Right now, this is one of the lows that we have. I'm gonna draw a circle on it so you know what I'm talking about. Once we broke below this low, then we can have our Fibonacci from all the way here, from the top here. I'm gonna draw it like this. I'm gonna draw the blue ones, okay? And from wherever it hits, okay? From the left side of the chart, from here, okay? From here, you have your Fibonacci retracement. It says Fib retracement from the top, from this high, all the way down to anywhere it stays, okay? It's still not done. Anywhere it stays, you can have it, and you can get to 50% or the zones, the rest of the zones. We've already talked about how to trade it. I know you know this, and I hope this was useful. We're waiting for the New York session to start. I hope you can make some good trades out of it. We mostly talked about the daily time frame and higher time frames. Usually we talk about lower time frames for scalps, but this is very, very simple. Currently, we know how the market is reacting, and I'm pretty much sure that you're also making good money out of this. So just have an eye on the daily time frame, because most of the traders, they get lost in the lower time frames and they lose a lot. But right now on the daily time frame, it was very important. We do have a lot of other liquidity zones that you can target. If not, or if you have any doubt, please watch the beginning of the video. Everything we talked about the USDT.D, it also applies on the Bitcoin, but in the opposite direction. So definitely go ahead, have that in mind, and I hope you enjoyed it and have a rest of the day.